So in this video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy that I use to make amazing returns in the stock market while trading, while still having a full-time job. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out, and let's get started. So one of the biggest things that I see traders want to do is quit their 9-to-5 job so they can start trading. A lot of people think that if they could just quit their job that they can make a ton of money in the stock market because they would never miss an opportunity because they'd be glued to the computer all day watching every single tick that happens. It also seems so glorifying to say that I'm a full-time trader. You go out, you buy a super fast computer, you get 4 monitors, you get the big setup that you see the pros use, and then you sit there and you never miss an opportunity. And I'm here to tell you, don't quit your job. You don't need to quit your job in order to make money in the stock market consistently, and you don't need to go out and buy a whole bunch of fancy things in order to make steady and consistent money in the stock market. As well, even if you're at home watching every single tick, you're still going to miss opportunities. And it's just human nature. A lot of people want to blame their trading style and blame their profits on the fact that they have a job. And yes, it's a lot harder to have a job and be a trader, but guess what? The good thing is that you constantly have steady income coming in while you're learning to trade on the side, because the truth is when you start, you're not just gonna make money off of the bat. You might get lucky a couple of times, but in order to stay consistent and in order to be a consistently profitable trader, it's going to take some losing and it's gonna take some learning. And now you might be thinking, but Pete, you run an academy teaching people how to trade stocks. How are you going to tell me that I shouldn't quit my job and do this full time? Obviously, I believe in the stock market and I know it's a way to make money. But yeah, 90% of my students work a full-time job and they still make consistent gains. So do not go out and quit your job. And that's including myself. I spend more time making these YouTube videos, editing all this content, running my academy, shooting content for my academy, live streaming twice a day. I'll put my Twitch link down below. And I spend more time on my job, because this is my job, than I do on trading nowadays. And still, we make consistent gains. You do not need to quit your job to make consistent gains in the stock market, and honestly, not enough people say it. And I'm in your position because when I was a paralegal, I remember taking bathroom breaks 4 or 5 times a day, sitting on the toilet, pretending to go to the bathroom, just looking at all my different stocks, and I just thought like, oh, earlier Tesla was at X amount of money. If I could have sold then, if I was home, if I wasn't working, it would have been so easy to sell. Making consistent gains in the stock market is hard enough. Now, add on top of that you don't have money coming in the door from your normal job, and you actually have to live off of the money you make from trading. When you are forced to make money trading, it becomes 1,000 times harder than it already is. So in this video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy that I use to make amazing returns in the stock market while trading, while still having a full-time job. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out, and let's get started. The first one is to find a mentor. And no, I'm not just saying this because I run a stock market academy, but finding a mentor is going to really cut down the time that it takes for you to learn how to trade stocks. This is even more important if you are somebody who is just beginning, because you haven't already created the bad habits that a veteran trader has that maybe they have to now correct with a mentor. Why do all the work for yourself when you could just get somebody to help you and share their experiences with you and honestly cut your learning curve to almost half the time? You don't even have to use my own academy or my own alert system. You can use anybody's, but I highly recommend you use the Capitalist Academy. I'll put our link down below. For instance, I stream every single morning with my private group and every single night publicly. I go over what I'm trading, why I'm trading it, which is the most important, and things that I'm looking at. So already I have saved you a ton of time by scouring through almost 500 companies every single day. It's showing you what is hot and what is ready to be traded. This way you don't have to do all of that for yourself. And even if you do have a job like most of my students do, you can just rewatch the streams later on in the day, because most of my trades are swing trading, which is what you're gonna have to do if you have a full-time job. As well, you also get alerts sent to your email every single week on what I'm looking at and why, which is the most important, why I am looking at it, as well as detailed breakdowns of specific strike prices and different options that I'm playing. So if you want to join the academy, I'll put the link down below. It's only $50 a month, and I guarantee you will get way more out of it within your first month. Number 2 is going to be preparation. If you're not gonna be able to sit in front of the computer all day or be readily available to your phone, you're going to have to prepare. Think of this like war. The better the strategy you have going into the war, the better it's going to be for you to make money. Depending upon what time you work, maybe take an hour in the morning or an hour at night or both, especially when you're starting out, and lay out a plan of what you're trading. I personally set alerts, I find support and resistances that I'm waiting to break, and I set up a specific plan of what I'm going to be trading and what price points I'm going to be getting in and out of. Because if you're going to take a trade and you're not going to be able to watch it, you're not going to have time on the fly to take a look at a chart, do your technical analysis, find out when is a good time to take profits or cut losses. So if you do all of this beforehand, it's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, and you're going to make more money. And a side note with this is to primarily use the daily chart. It's one of the most accurate charts, and it's a slow moving chart, so you don't have to check on your positions 4 or 5 times a day. Now, number 3 is kind of a side note off of number 2, but after hours research. After you're done work, you can't just go out every single day and have a drink with your friends or get lunch with your girlfriend or boyfriend, because you're gonna have work to do. The problem is that a lot of people don't realize that this is a side business. This is a skill and a business that you have to treat that way. You wouldn't be trying to build a side hustle but not spending time working on it after your job. You have to be spending a couple of hours every single day, and if you're working a 9 to 5, it's gonna have to be at night, on mastering your craft and mastering your skill. Number 4 is to adapt a trading style. Now, this kind of goes back to number 1, like I said, where you get a mentor, you can kind of adapt a trading style from somebody else, but ultimately it's not going to be the same for everybody. Easiest trading style that I would say for somebody who has a job is to obviously swing trade. You don't want to be day trading, number 1. Even if you work second shift or third shift and you can day trade in the morning, a lot of times maybe the move you're looking for doesn't happen until later in the day, and you don't want to go into work with an open position that's supposed to be a day trade. That always gets messy, and it's really hard to make money. And like I said, going back, you want to be using the daily chart. It's one of the easiest ways to find major supports and resistances. And if you're going to be a swing trader with a job, you're primarily going to want to trade support and resistances or patterns. This is very important because main patterns that I trade, like wedges and flags, head and shoulders, cup and handles, these are all very accurate and very easy to play if you have a job and you can't look at the market 4 or 5 times a day. These are some of the most predictable patterns, and this is why I trade them. Now, when it comes to indicators, the main ones that I would tell you to use are going to be your MACD, your RSI, your 15 or 9 EMA, depending on you, and your 200-day SMA. Now, for me, I do use a 100-day and a 50-day SMA. Those are not going to be as important for somebody who can't look at the computer all the time. Honestly, you want to simplify this process as much as you possibly can, because the more things for you to worry about, the more you're going to worry. And we want to take the worry away so you can focus on your craft and focus on your job. Because the point of this is that you're going to be learning how to trade, learning how to grow your money that you save from the job you have. We want to make sure that you're not performing your normal job poorly because you're worried about the stock market all the time. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is stop losses and brackets. So for those of you who do not know what a stop loss is, it's essentially when a stock hits a certain price, it will sell it at a market order. This is very important because you're not going to be able to watch the charts all day, and you're not going to be able to cut your losses if you're not looking at your phone. So you want to set a stop loss when you take the trade, when you start the trade. This way, you can minimize your risk to the downside. Now, for a lot of people, especially myself when I was working, I would look at my phone and I would say, oh, if I would have sold earlier in the day when it was at highs, I would have made a lot more money. So what you can actually do is set take profit. Set a limit order at a certain price, and what will happen is your broker will sell it if it hits that price and if buyers are there. You can do what's called an OCO bracket, where you set a stop loss and you set a take profit at the same time. And if it hits either one of them, the limit will trigger and you will get out of the position. Yes, this doesn't always work perfectly. Sometimes it'll tap your stop loss and then rip. Sometimes it'll hit your take profits and just keep going, and you could have made more money. But overall, this is the safest strategy if you're not going to be able to look at the stock market throughout the day. I know you probably want to quit your job, especially if you don't like it, and become a full-time trader, but it's really not worth it. You need to have money to pay your bills. You don't want to go forcing trades, and most of all, you need money from a stable income source to put money back into the market. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. It really helps. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you next time.